Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randy. We are playing more Phoenix Wright Justice for All. Last time the circus of a trial began. Let's continue with probably Mo. Sweetie, you have to believe me. I didn't go anywhere near the crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were in there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. When I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means? It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous. That's a fabulously possible possibility. Well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. All that they found was the silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double, Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up, magician or president. That has to be a fucking load of shit, or this guy is a full-on narcissist. You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous, this mystery just keeps getting deeper. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Miss Montgomery, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well. I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Well, Mr. Lawrence Curls, please take the stand. Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. Every time the carrot. Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why is he speaking in autobiographical gibberish? I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're at a Grand Hall of Justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court. Oh yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Oh boy. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign says no shoot, no... no shirt, no shoes, no service. Ah! Okay, how about this one? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How was that one? But a couple of clowns are up to no good. Your name? Lawrence Carls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 on the day of the murder? Correct? Yes it is. Very well. Mr. Carls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a staff. Without the humor, please. Okay. Aw, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in the court. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare with polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. A clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. And I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing? I have to say, poor Francesca.
Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here?
Witness? Huh? We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case. Really? You'll really hear me out? Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you. I can't wait.
Or gumshoe.
Now that that's settled, we'll begin once again with the testimony. Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want.
Oh boy.
The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I would go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clocked the ringmaster over the head. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to believe, I have enough to pass judgment right now. Of course you can. There's no way that this account can be criticized. However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. That must be because of my insincere smile. Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, you've got to find some kind of contradiction in his testimony.
I know that.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor.
I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling.
I understand, Your Honor.
If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible.
Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes.
Okay. So. Practice was over, went straight back to the room.
You just happened to glance out of the window.
You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Carls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either.
What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue.
We're gonna keep pressing.
Exactly why did you look out the window that night?
Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their window, do they?
That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday...
Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah! I forgot about that! You forgot?
Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Ow, ow, ow. That's not something you just forget to mention.
Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony.
Very well, Mr. Carls. Please revise your testimony.
This should start turning the tables in our favor.
Her loud noise, that would make me look outside. Two silhouettes. Okay. You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head.
Yes, I did. It was the climax of my story.
Really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with?
You mean the weapon? I have no idea. The weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right?
It's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon.
Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. God damn, that's a big penalty.
This is a bit melodramatic.
So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Pretty sure we do.
I've got a great reason to make my claim.
And I suppose you'll be telling us all about that great reason?
Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony.
What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright?
Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit.
He did say that.
However, Mo just stated the following under oath.
Kept watching them, and all of a sudden Max clonked Ringmaster over the head.
If Mo was to believe when he said he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way he could have seen Max clonk anyone.
1972, a crackdown unit. Did not get the rest of that. Mr. Carls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment?
They didn't commit.
These clowns promptly escaped in a maximum security clown car. Mr. Carls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No, I'm stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick.
These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth.
Well,
you're back from your jog?
Well, it pretty much happened the way I said.
Pretty much?
And I looked out my window that night. The ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. This is why eyewitness testimony is becoming more and more weak.
Von Karma. Tampering with witnesses again.
So now you were saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster. Yes. And I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out.
Checked out?
Yep, he was on permanent
Mr. Carls.
Your Honor?
You did not witness the actual crime, however you still say you saw the criminal, correct?
Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify to the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And even if I catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, so this makes sense why you saw Max. Because he would have seen the cloak and probably nothing else, and also he doesn't like Max. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. Which would make sense why that was. Because here's the thing. It makes sense because they said something about it being cold and, the ringmaster might have taken the cloak. It doesn't make sense why he took the hat. So it doesn't make sense why the hat is there. And it makes sense why the cloak is there. That's the thing I don't get. His silk hat, that black coat, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should be fine. This should finally be enough, yes?
It is decisive testimony.
Was Max really at the crime scene that night?
He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that.
Alright, Mr. Wright, commit your cross-examination. was a bit far away, but the shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's uppity symbols.
Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think?
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you absolutely 100% certain that it was Max?
I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that.
Doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over this again. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night?
Okay. The symbols. What impressed this?
You're sure that's what you saw?
Okay. That's exactly.
That's not all I saw.
How can you be certain of his faces?
You were able to see that kind of detail from your window?
There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much.
Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like?
I can see like a hawk out of my left eye and an eagle out of my right eye.
Our record says his eyesight is a perfect 20/20.
That could also mean that he just hasn't gone to the eye doctor in a while.
Must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly.
Yes. The more we look into it, the more suspicious it becomes. Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was. Not what it actually was like. Not what it actually was. So we couldn't see what he was carrying. I'm sure that.
So, you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding?
That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. Must have been something incredibly hard.
Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure.
They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report.
With Trillo's testimony and now Mo's, it really seems like Max is the killer.
Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this.
That's not going to be enough.
What?
I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that will help. I've got to do it.
Huh. So the only thing that I can think is the fact that his hat was found at this crime scene. Let me try pressing that.
You're sure that's what you saw?
Okay. Yeah, we did this. Okay. Do we present the hat, maybe?
Okay. I had to go back and figure it out. Fortunately, Maya's very slick hands have saved us. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols.
I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right?
Mo, everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols?
Yeah, everyone get ready. All together now.
Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. Just forgot to mention one.
Isn't that right, Mo?
Silence, fool. You were to respond with the whole truth, no fractions. Order, order.
Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses of the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It was obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them.
Then the roses must have fallen off when the victim assaulted the defendant assaulted the victim.
If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene.
Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of the case? Clearly not. He is just trying to he's just toying with this court.
I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it is not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trillo's testimony? There's no way I could have mistaken someone wearing those ridiculous 3 symbols. How could you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing those 3 snobby 3-piece get-up? Trillo saw them all. Trillo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there was no white roses on the person he saw. There is absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. All this means is one of them is lying. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this... Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Again, eyewitness testimony has been proven to be, like, almost as useless as, like, fringe technology, like phrenology. Which, ironically, I said fringe and then another word. But, like, because it's so easy for the brain to basically rewrite itself, because essentially, if you want... I'm gonna get into a little bit of the fun little things that I've been learning. Not even learning, but just as I've tried when I went to attempt to go into criminal justice. One of the biggest things when it comes to eyewitness testimony is basically our brains have just, like, really low... Not even RAM, but, like, really low, like... I'm gonna say RAM. So, like, the amount that we're, like, able to, like, pull up and remember is kind of very vague. Like, it's not a lot. And with the amount that we're processing every single day, the fact that we're able to remember these, like, very significant things, very crucial details, like, becomes less and less. And so you start thinking that it's like, oh, I'm not 100% sure on this. And then so when you have prosecution or you have police or anything like that who then are like, are you sure they didn't look like this? Or, like, there are ways to, like, kind of lead the questions so that then your eyewitness then starts to kind of think, like, oh, maybe this is... And so it kind of rewrites your memory. Again, it's not something where it's, like, you know, complete brainwashing, but it is something where your brain, like, all that information that you were like, oh, I remember this, because you're taking in so much, your brain's not going to remember all of it. Because again, like, anytime something's happening, there are so many other things, unless you were in, like, a white room with the person and there's no other sounds, like, sound, you know, it's like, there are so many other things that your brain can kind of click onto. So, it's one of those things. And of course, like, in certain situations, like, that's, but, like, more eyewitness and not, like, you know, this person attacked me, because, like, you'll definitely remember that face, because it's not going to be a blip, but if you're, like, an eyewitness and something, like, it's not going to be as much of a focus to you as maybe something else that you were doing. You just glance and you see some dude mugging someone else. But, like, if you are the person that's getting mugged, you're going to be staring at the face for a while. So it's one of those things that, like, eyewitness testimonies I think has kind of become a little bit iffy, because it's not hard to kind of lead someone, like, especially when you're kind of having the person leading be in a quote-unquote person of, like, a higher rank or, like, profession, you know. It's like someone that is, like, an officer or something like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that must have been what it is. I must be wrong, they must be right, you know, that sort of thing. Let's just get into this. Sorry about the tangent. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, this witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature? I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that the witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit of more testimony. What? If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I'm prepared to issue a ruling. A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. Part 2.
No doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night. However, all of the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There was no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene. We've got one last chance at this. I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. You are going to prove that there is a contradiction with Curls' statement. Better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've got one shot, one opportunity. What song is that? That's a K-pop song, not an Eminem song. Fine. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. Okay. This makes sense. Okay, so the white... I'm looking at, like, this... like walkthrough just to make sure I'm not missing anything, and I did just glimpse at what we're supposed to do, which makes sense. He was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene, which can't be the case because we have it. It does also say in here that it's best not to press anything because pressing does nothing. But the hat was found at the scene, so he couldn't have been wearing it the entire time.
This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw it that night, would it?
Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night.
No question in your mind.
Exactly. How would one mistake a thing like that?
I see. There's some sort of problem, Mr. Wright. Miss Von Karma, where exactly was this silk hat found?
Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means...
The silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
No, that's not true. I'm trying not to peek the mic. I peek it with my natural voice. I'm trying not to peek it with screaming. Order, 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 Mr. Curls.
Yes, Your Honor?
What is the meaning of all this? You are old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's not right. That's so harsh.
What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things.
Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You just didn't like my jokes, just like, right? You didn't have to go out and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting above me doesn't mean you belong to me. It doesn't matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you. Oh boy.
Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max.
Even if he didn't have his roses, he was wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He turned into a bratty little kid.
It's pitiful, isn't it?
He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there.
He left the scene?
What's the matter, Nick?
There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo?
What do you want?
You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime?
What? He went. What do you mean? How did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor.
This witness's testimony is full of holes. Miss Karma's protest is useless.
You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid questions? How did he leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious. He turned around and walked away.
That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened?
Say what? Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. You have any proof to counter the story as to how the criminal left the crime scene? It'd be the crime scene photo, because there's no picture. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, crime photo. Especially when it comes to these, I want to just make sure I'm right, so I'm not wasting time. Like, oh, okay, let's go through the photo.
Look at this picture.
Look at this photo.
The problem is the footprints in the snow.
Footprints?
In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, Where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there.
Ay, ay, ay.
So Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all the witnesses' testimony from the court record.
I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in.
Wait just a second!
You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, fine, I'll tell the truth this time.
You wait a second.
I think you've said more than enough for today. It didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyway. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are going to be worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Curls? Yes?
The testimony you've provided up till now has been false?
It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just what? It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order! Order! I will have order! Francesca Von Karma, how could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have.
What opinion is that? It's not funny. That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you say you saw, Mr. Girls.
You're not gonna believe this, but it's all true, I tell you.
Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel.
Now it's time for the next segment. Mo knows. Everything that I've said up till now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down. Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he... This is truth now. Get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up and flew through the air. That kind of just looked like he was getting pulled, but... flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you, it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician, but to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses. Why would you believe me, especially since it's the best part of the story?
To be honest, this is the
First time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? Okay, so I wanted to make sure because I was like, just in case. Because we have to say his eyes were playing tricks because, like, if we say he's telling the truth, like, all of these, none of them matter. But this makes it seem less like it was Max.
It's obvious that the witness's eyes are playing tricks on him.
Don't be such a fool. Who in the world do you think would mistake that jerk for?
Jeez, I didn't say you were lying.
Wow, he looks really serious right now. More serious than he's looked all day.
I suppose I'll let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen.
You imbecile.
If you disregarded need for proof, Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned. Hey, sweeties, what in the world is going on? And that's what I want to know.
They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared.
Max, I can't believe I'm asking you this, but you didn't fly that night, did you?
I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question.
I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy.
But it looks so effortless for you on stage.
It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air.
How? You just told me the secret to your magic.
No, I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule, the only rule. I'm sorry, Max. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secrets to their tricks.
Nick, what do we do now?
All we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow.
Great idea. Let's do our best and catch this sucker.
And that is it for this episode. Next time, it's more investigating.
I'll see y'all then. Bye.